Today, you will find out who I am, learn what Andy in the Wild is all about. You're going to get to hear a brief story about how I started my own business while working from home full-time, quitting my job that was safe and reliable while the economy was crashing down around us. You'll also get to hear some of the reactions from my family about that decision and what they thought, as well as a tip about rental cars that just may save your life, but let's be honest, it probably won't. But we're going to tell you one anyway. You're going to get all of this and a lot more coming up right now on Andy in the Wild.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
All right, so let's get started. Let's see. So what did I tell you I was going to tell you about? I told you I was going to tell you about me. So I'm Andy Wilkerson. I'm your host of Andy in the Wild, and this is a little show I'm putting together here. I hope you like it. But enough about that. We'll get back to that later. Let's talk about me. So I'm a business owner. I am an entrepreneur. I work at home full-time. I have worked at home full-time since 2007. I'm a web designer and a web developer. My work experience has varied. I've worked at offices and I've worked for other companies and businesses other than myself. I got my start in a marketing department for a furniture company. And the last job that I had before I started my own business was for a software company that made content management systems for schools. I transitioned away from that and I became I started my own business and I sold designs on ThemeForest, which is now known as Envato Market. It is the top selling website design, theme, shop, WordPress themes site on the internet. I did over $1 million in sales on that service. And let's see, what else? Okay, so now, right now I'm working on a product called PodPub, and it is for podcasters. What a surprise. And it's fantastic, though. It has high-quality audio hosting, a beautiful premium website, and automated marketing tools and social media automation to really help make sure that your podcast succeeds. So that's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying doing that right now. So that's a little bit about me. That's my background. That's my history. That's where I come from. That's how I got here. All right. I guess we're done now, right? No. We're not done. I said there was other stuff. I said I was going to tell you. This is what you came here for, to find out what the show's about, not find out about me. So the show, Andy in the Wild, the podcast. So what is it about? We're going to be talking about the murky jungle. We're going to explore the deep darkness of working from home. And that can be whether you're a work-at-home, self-employed business owner, an entrepreneur. You could be working for some other business, or maybe you actually run a business and you have people who telecommute for you, and you need to manage those people. I mean, these things are all challenges, but we're going to be exploring those things and the challenges that come along with them and how you manage that, and you manage life and family and the challenges with kids and distractions. And I'm repeating myself. So, we're just going to look at those things and how there's a difference between working at an office and working at home, and how the challenges differ as well. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. I've been doing it since 2012 full time, and I started doing it in I've been doing it since 2007, full time. And I started doing it in 2006, and I had a transition. But so we'll learn about that. 12 years. 12 years I've been doing it full time. Okay. All right. So there you go. Now you know about me. You know about we know about the show, what we're going to talk about here, and all the things you're going to learn about, and why it's going to be so amazing, and why you have to come back and tune in again. Oh, do we have to do anything else? Oh, yes, one more, yet another thing. I was going to tell you about how I ended up quitting my job when it was the worst possible time. So I was working for a company in 2009 that I had done a lot for. I felt like I had really contributed and had a great experience there. I was very happy, but as after a few years, I started to get a little less happy. I felt like there wasn't as much I could do for them anymore. So I explored options to see where I could go, but I never even applied for another job anywhere else. I knew I was going to start my own business. I wanted to. It felt right. So I began planning for starting my own business in 2009. And then I discovered Envato Market. It was called Theme Forest at the time. And I started having some success with my designs selling on there. And I found a group of people, a large audience that liked my work, and they started asking for more of it. And by the early part of 2010, I was able to know that I could earn a living doing that if I needed to. So I started putting in place plans to start my own business. And in May of 2010, I launched Parallelis, which was my own company. Then in June of 2010, I became a father. And later that month, I quit my job. And I quit my job while the housing market was awful. And we had just bought a new home 2 years earlier. And we still had our previous home that we could not sell because no one wanted to buy houses. And it was only getting worse. And I had a perfectly stable, safe, good paying, reliable job. And I said, bye-bye. See you later. I'm going to go do my own thing. And that was a good decision, I think. And I'm happy that I did. I love working at home for myself. But, you know, my family, they had something to say about that. They were looking at me and they were saying, hey, look at this guy over here. Thinks he can do everything. Doesn't need anybody. But that wasn't the case. You know, they were actually really supportive and everybody backed me up. However, there was one individual that I remember to this day who stopped me and made sure that there were certain things I was thinking about. And looking back, I really appreciate that this happened and that this person did intervene and make sure that I knew what I was getting into. And it was my father-in-law. And I'm sure that surprises a lot of people. You're all very shocked that my father-in-law made sure that I wasn't being a stupid idiot kid who was quitting his job while his first granddaughter and his own daughter were relying on me for, you know. So, but what he did was he made sure that I understood that I was giving up something that was safe and reliable, and that the situation at the time was not ideal for starting a new business, as well as that I had more people to think about than just myself. And those were all great things for me to be reminded of. I had thought about them, and my wife and I had talked extensively, but I was sure I was making the right decision, and I'm sure I came off as if I was pretty darn sure I was making the right decision. But looking back on it, and now having 3 children of my own, 2 of them daughters, I would absolutely stop and say something similar and express similar feelings to a young man that might be married to one of my daughters and was thinking of doing something equally as risky. The main thing I believe he was looking for was to see that I understood how serious what I was doing was and that I understood the risks. And I'm really glad that that did happen, because I think it helped me to realize that, you know, while a lot of people were supporting me, there were also reasons for me to be afraid. And I think that was a good fear to have. So, all right. So, yeah, we got through that. Yeah, so I quit my job and started my own business, and I've been doing that ever since. There you go. Okie dokie. Now, I know I promised you I was going to tell you something about rental cars, and I said it may save your life, and I was not lying. However, I was definitely embellishing. This will probably never save your life. At the same time, though, I would like to explain first why I'm going to tell you something about rental cars, since it has nothing to do with working from home or anything else that you would ever be interested in. So, for every episode that we do, I would like to try and impart on you some piece of knowledge, some wisdom, something that's going to help make your life better, or extend your range of knowledge or skills in some way that it's going to be beneficial to you outside of just your work life or your working at home life. And that's important to me, because working from home, while it's really interesting to me, may not be to everyone. And this is a nice way for you to get a little something extra out of every episode. And that's why I am going to be doing one of these for every episode. And it could be a skill or a trick or some sort of tactical advice that's going to save your life when the zombie apocalypse happens. Who knows? Or it may just be how to better organize your closet, or keep your paper clips from falling off your desk. You don't know? Never know. Hey, gotta find out. Tune in. So that being said, let's get back to rental cars, because I know what you were just thinking. You were just saying to someone, Andy, I was just thinking about rental cars. I'm so glad you're about to talk about them. Because nobody was saying that, and nobody was thinking that. However, getting back to the topic of rental cars, today's tip or trick, however you want to look at it, has to do with when you are on that trip, you're traveling and you're on your way back to the airport, you're returning your rental car, and this is how it happens for me. You realize, wait, I have to put gas in the car. And of course you do, because if you don't put gas in the car, they will charge you for the gas. And they will fill it up with the most expensive gas on the planet, which I don't know where they get that gas, but it's excellent gas. I'm sure of this because of the price. But this is easy. All you have to do is stop at that gas station that's on its way to the airport. There's one right before the rental car return always, and you just pull into that one. And but then you pull in and you go, like myself, wait, I forgot to check which side of the car the gas tank is on. And so you, like myself, pull up to a pump, and like an idiot, you get out of the car and realize I pulled up on the wrong side, and you get back in the car and everyone watches you turn around and pull back up and get out of the car. This has actually happened to me. And this is what was about to happen when I was returning a car not too many years ago. And my wife said, just look at the arrow. And I had no idea what she meant. So she said, look at the dashboard. And I do. And I see where my gas gauge is. And then I see there's a little icon that looks like a gas pump. And next to it is an arrow. And this arrow will point to the left or to the right. And that's which side the gas tank is on. This is amazing. It blew my mind. I had no idea. It's been there all this time. I went back and looked on old cars. It's there. I don't know when they started doing this, and I don't know how long it's been since I started driving, or if it's always been since I started driving. But I did not know about this for most of my adult life. And when I discovered it, it blew my mind. I was so excited. My wife, of course, however, she said it in a way that I believe makes me think, at least, that most people already know this. However, if you don't, now you do. And it's a very useful tip. And if you did already know it, congratulations. You're smarter than me, but that's not a hard thing to be. You know, lots of people are, most people. So there you go. There's your little nugget for today. Okay, well, that's everything, guys. I thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll be here next time. Let's see, next time we are going to talk about how I got started working from home almost 12 years ago, and a few of the lessons I've learned along the way, especially how I got started learning how to work from home, because it's a little bit different than working from an office. There's some things that you have to kind of do to train your mind to know when it's work time and when it's not, and there's a lot of stuff like that. And I find it really interesting because it has to do with our behavior and why we do things the way we do. So, but tune in next time. We're going to talk about that. Also, if you happen to be on the Twitter, you can follow me at Andy in the Wild, and I will be posting, well, should I ever have one, nuggets of wisdom, if that ever occurs. Probably not. But for sure, I'll be posting when this show, new episodes go up, and when you can go and listen to them and watch them and where. Let's see. And if you happen to be one of those people who is watching this right now, and you're on a website or somewhere that there's a comment section below, please, leave us a comment, leave me one. I will get back to you. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're not one of those people and you're listening to the audio version of this, we love those 5-star reviews on iTunes. So if you're doing that, go ahead and head on over there and give us one of those 5-star reviews, because that's really appreciated. And if you don't love the show, then hey, you're in luck. You got nothing left to do. You're all done. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.